today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Toys R Us exclusive Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Marvel's Vision, Sam Wilson Captain America, and Kate Bishop Marvel's Hawkeye set. That was a mouthful. This set, only available at Toys R Us. Spot found this at, you guessed it, only Toys R Us. Let me also say, a very expensive set. These three figures, in Canada, this whole collective box set, cost $89. Whatever you might think of the current prices of figures, and of course you could justify, well, the price of figures have gone up, $89, $90 for three figures does seem a little on the steep side. Yes, of course you get figures that you don't get anywhere else, and if you want to get a Sam Wilson Captain America, a good place to get it would be this box set here. But $80 seems a little steep for me. It is recommended for ages 4 and up. There is a choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years of age. Side of package. We basically have the same three characters featured and some nice artwork on the sides. Featured on both sides, actually. And spin around the back. Once again, Marvel's Vision, Sam Wilson's Captain America, and Kate Bishop, Marvel's Hawkeye. A very, very brief read-up, as the rest of the read-ups are all in different languages. A very brief read-up says, Defenders of Justice, these heroes suit up to protect humanity and the world. To check out more from the folks over at Hasbro, head over to www.hasbro.com/The Avengers. Spot's going to take himself a break and get these opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at the Toys R Us exclusive Marvel Legends series box set consisting of Vision, consisting of Captain America, consisting of Marvel's Hawkeye. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Spot, your presentation for displaying figures at the beginning of reviews is fantastic. Thank you very much. The reason why all three of these are laying down primarily is because of one figure, and then the other two I'm just basically laying down as a starting place. Well, let me talk about a few things. We'll kind of move these figures out of the way. Why don't we first start this review, and I wanted to unalter this in any way, shape, or form from how it comes completely out of packaging. Sure, of course, I could have prepped this. I could have done certain things that I'll explain to in a second to make Vision look a little bit more presentable, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take him out of packaging. I'm, of course, going to look at him, but I'm going to keep him exactly the way, in the same state that he came out of packaging in. Ready? That's his cape right down there. Oh, don't kid yourself. There is a plug. There's a hole on the back where the cape can peg into place. But unfortunately, this is exactly how it came out of packaging. It came out of packaging with the peg. Let me show you, see if you can see it there. That peg is angled drastically to the one side. You could, as I will have to do, straighten out the peg as best you can and try to get it into his back like that. But it doesn't stay well enough because it wants to warp itself back to the one side. This is why this is a good example of why I wanted to shoot this review completely unaltering the state of Vision here. So you can peg it into place and it stays relatively well, but it's not the most secure fits. And unfortunately, with that being as warped as it is, I might probably have to just glue that in place. Okay, so with the cape being the abomination that is, and at least we got it plugged into place. But again, it sits so loose. This Vision is a repaint in some regards to the Vision that we had before, which I think was from Hulkbuster Wave. A slightly different tone of colors, primarily. Not the same sort of green. This seems to be coming across a little more of a darker green with the reds, the lighter greens in the gloves, the little side areas of the legs, and of course the areas of the chest. And then yes, of course the cape itself is slightly different as well, and paint as well. So I'll have to probably glue that in place just so the cape isn't going to go anywhere on me. Let's have a look at his face. The face isn't bad. Again, the face on the original Vision wasn't bad either, and I believe I even said, not a bad looking figure. Paint is good. I don't really have any negative comments to make about the paint. The paint is relatively clean, except for the big triangle or the big diamond on his forehead that is off-centered. Oh, Hasbro, what are you doing? Clearly, it looks like they have missed the mark. Literally, they've missed the mark, as the sculpt of the diamond is further over. It's right in the center of his forehead, but where the paint ended up, a lot more to this side than right dead center. That's not to say that every Vision is going to look like this. In fact, very unlikely that Vision's going to look like this with every single instance. I was just very lucky enough to get this Vision. Other than that, I don't really have too many issues with the paint. Again, my big issue is with the cape that has the warped peg. On the back, again, paint's very clean. Don't really have any issues paint other than the diamond up at the top there. A lot of my main issues, other than the cape, is just a very loose figure, especially loose in the head. This neck area, as you can even see, raising the head will drop the head further down. So that's something I'm going to have to, I don't know, I'll probably have to put something on there just to kind of stiffen up that joint. Shoulders aren't so bad. The crunch and the ball joint of the legs seems a little on the loose side for my liking. When it comes to the articulation on Vision, it's exactly what you would have seen with the original Vision. So a ball hinge joint. The hinge is right there, and then the head itself sits on top of a ball joint. So you have extra range of motion there. Unfortunately, it also means, yeah, that hinge will eventually get loose over time. Shoulders hinge out, no issues there. You can even see how his head bobbles up and down as I'm doing this. A rotation, a very clickety rotation on the arms all the way around. A rotation on the bicep. Double hinged elbows. A hinge and rotation on the wrist. As we've already discussed, the crunch on the torso. A swivel on the waist. Ball joint legs. Top swivel cut on the thigh, double hinged knees, hinge on the foot. Maybe we could do a little checklist. Things I like about the figure. Color. Color looks good. Sculpt, also good. We'll put that one down as well. Things I don't necessarily like about the figure, and it's more so just for QC than anything else. Missed paint, just awkwardly painted areas. Loose joints, and also a cape that you have to bend the cape to get the peg out and plug it into place, which again I'll have to probably heat or eventually just glue into place. I'm actually surprised that the cape is holding as well as it is. It wasn't holding well when I started this review. Why don't we also then have a look then at, as the next figure in, not necessarily in line, let's have a look at Hawkeye. Now this is Kate Bishop Hawkeye, so of course it's not quite the same Hawkeye that maybe a lot of people are familiar with. I like this figure actually. I think I like the figure almost more than I like Vision. Dare I say. The coloring's nice and subtle and a nice soft purple, which carries over to her headband as well. A darker version of that in her glasses. Even the gold around the trim of her glasses is colored. I like that. And even, I don't know if that's intentional, but it looks like she's got like an eyebrow sticking out from above her glasses. It's probably just an outline. But the body is pretty clean. I don't have any issues with it. In fact, I've tried to place in my memory banks, tried to go through my archives in my brain. I was trying to think of a colored figure that looked this color. And a couple of ones I could think of was the Catwoman, as well as the Wildcat from DC Universe. They had very similar purples to this one. She has a loose belt. It's not attached to anything. Nice sculpt on the body. And for her accessories, she comes with a quiver. And the quiver, initially I thought it was attaching to her back, but there's a little hole just on the side of her belt here. And you can attach it to her leg like so. And she does also come with a an actual bow, which I'm pretty sure has been carried over from other released figures. Unfortunately, though, unless I'm overlooking something, she didn't come with an arrow. She didn't actually come with an arrow, just a bow and just a quiver. The quiver does have, of course, arrows on it, but unfortunately, none of the arrows, from what I can see, are removable. Just try to get that into her hand. Unfortunately, her thumb. One of the problems with female figures is that the hands, for starters, tend to be rubbery, but then on top of that, things such as thumbs seem to want to bend a lot when you try to put things into the figure's hand. I'm going to definitely double check the packaging afterwards, because it almost even looks like her hand. There's nothing that can come out of the quiver. The quiver is completely sculpted, but her hand looks like it should hold an arrow. I'll double check the packaging. I'm pretty sure there was no arrow at all in the actual clamshell, in the tray itself. But I like the figure. I do think the figure turned out quite nicely. It's not an excessive amounts of different colors. In fact, it's basically just dark purple and this lighter violet, but turned out quite nicely. And also, the bow end of it, the actual cording is plastic, so it's not an actual material other than plastic. Let's go ahead and take the two accessories out of her hand, or off of her, so we can have a look at her posability. Head is on a ball joint, hinged shoulders. He has a bend at the elbow, a rotation on the forearm, a rotation on the wrist, a hinge also in the hand, ball joint upper torso, to which you can also get a lot of good poses out of her. No waist swivel. Females figures don't tend to have a lot of waist swivels, but she does have a ball joint leg, ball joint both legs if you can believe it, top swivel cut thigh, double hinge knee, and a hinge in the foot. Ankle pivot, not really so much. And there is Hawkeye. To be more exact, Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Get her to see if we can get her to successfully stand, as well as Vision. I do feel like she should come really with arrows, but at any rate, finally, let's have a look. I guess not really necessarily for picking up this set, but if you are interested in getting a Sam Wilson Captain America, a good route to go would be getting this box set. He does come with a shield, the same reused shield from previous released Captain Americas, which also has the same clip for your arm as well as a swivel for a peg, which can go ahead and attach to his torso like that. Or what you can do, this swings out, as we've already looked at, and this can also clip into his forearm. Now, he's got a little extra sculpting, it seems, on the gauntlet areas of his glove, that the clip doesn't fit all the areas. Further up it won't fit, you have to kind of keep it closer to his wrist, but it does stay in place. I'm sure the sculpt and mold of Sam Wilson's Captain America has been reused from previous caps, although a lot of new little elements like the sculpts on the gloves, I feel those are new. The torso, top torso area could be new as well. Actually, you know what? A lot of the torso, a lot of the body areas could be new sculpts. That I don't really know. The coloring is more of a darker blue. Of course, you got then the reds, which are, it's almost more like a burgundy red, and the stark white. Face sculpt is good. Let's have a look at his face. Paint, again, very clean, not like Vision. Don't really have any glaring issues to note. Some little areas around the leg, I don't know why they come across a little more on the scuffed side, but it's not even like it's a case where paint's missing. It just seems scuffed. Here's the undersides. They've even sculpted the soles of his feet. A nice touch. I just especially like the fact that it's Captain America, but it's not just Steve Rogers Captain America all the time. It's nice to get a nice different change for that. You can only have so many Captain Americas on your shelf that are all Steve Rogers. Again, it's nice to get Sam Wilson stepping up to the plate. For his posability, head, once again, like Vision, is on a ball hinge joint, so you have some extra motion going on there. Hinged shoulders, again, full rotation there. A rotation on the top cut of the bicep. Double hinge on the elbow. Rotation and hinge in the hand. Upper torso crunch. Rotation in the waist. Ball joint legs. Top swivel cut thigh. Double hinged knees. Swivel right at the boot. And not only an ankle pivot, but also a rocking on the hinge as well. So he gets a little bit extra going on there. Let's go ahead and for the final looks, get the shield onto his wrist. There we go. And there are your 3 figures. The figures are great, don't get me wrong. No issues necessarily with the figures. Little QC issue when it comes to the Vision, but for the most part, all 3 figures are really good. The downside though, again, here in Canada, this set was $90 without any tax. You add tax, of course, you're adding extra things to it, but if you, not counting tax, the price of entry, $90 for this box set. That works out that each figure is about $30. When you start factoring in tax, of course, each of the figures is more than that. So my problem really is, as great as these figures might be, individually released Marvel Legends figures here in Canada are $22 to $25. So right off the bat, they're adding an extra $5 to $8 per each figure. And it's hard as a collector, certainly, to get a box set like this, even being a Toys R Us exclusive, when you're looking at 3 figures costing $90. Ay, ay, ay. But still, these are great pickups. Maybe not so much for Vision. Vision's, I think, the weaker of the 2, or of the 3 here. But for me, the real ones, the real money in this set is the Sam Wilson Captain America and the Kate Bishop Hawkeye. If you guys see these, I would say it's worth picking up for at least, if anything, the Sam Wilson Cap. But again, like, the box sets are a little pricey, especially here in Canada. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Marvel Legends series. This was the Toys R Us exclusive. We're looking at Marvel's Vision, Sam Wilson's Captain America, and finally, Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more videos heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.